designed specifically for sports fanatics like you. The sports content you demand is always on. Live stream our national and local sports talk anywhere you go. Reach us on all social media. You can also be a part of the show. Call and text into our studios. Plus, up-to-the-minute weather and traffic maps. The new app from 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is available at the Apple Store and Google Play.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Tuesday. For this afternoon and evening, sunshine and a high of 82 with a gentle breeze around 10 miles per hour out of the east. Tonight, clear skies with lows around 70. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a gentle breeze and a temperature near 82. Moving into Thursday, about the same with a high of 81 and mostly sunny. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Well, it's that time of the year again, folks. Yep, Christmas is right around the corner. And to avoid the stress and rush, Tracy's Fine Jewelry is starting our Christmas sale early. That's right, all color gemstone jewelry is on sale now for 60% off. Rubies, emeralds, sapphires, tanzanites, opals, and more. Mark it off your list and lay away now. At Tracy's Fine Jewelry, we love to save you time and money. So avoid the rush and come see us at Tracy's Fine Jewelry, where Santa shops.
People ask all the time, who the heck is Low Cost Airlines? Well, we're not just one airline. When you're talking to us, you're talking to everyone. We are the discount supermarket for all airline tickets. Plus, we have all the airlines and always have the best prices. American, Delta, United, plus all the specialized international airlines and a lot more. And we make it easy. We guarantee you'll talk to a live human in 60 seconds. You can have the rate you need and have your trip booked in 5 minutes. Now, how cool is that? And remember, when you're talking to us, it's like talking to every single airline available with one fast phone call. All you need to do is call and find the best prices to fly wherever it is you want to go. So are you ready? Call Low Cost Airlines right now. 800-708-3092. 800-708-3092. 800-708-3092. That's 800-708-3092.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose? We can typically replace them while you wait. Hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? In many cases, we can have it back to you the next day. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport, just south of Tractor Supply. The best place in town to take a leak.
ESPN Northwest Florida is thrilled to introduce the newest members of the Panama City Beach Chamber to our vibrant business community.
Welcome to the Beach Chamber. Panhandle CPR, Dream Coast Auto, Emerald Wake, Ford's Garage, Papa Joe's Bayside, and Penn Air Credit Union.
We're here to support your success and help you connect with our community.
Congratulations from ESPN Northwest Florida.
And the Panama City Beach Chamber of Commerce, reaching Bay County and beyond.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted it close to town with a picture window overlooking a yard. And you found it. Now when you sit down to dinner, you've got front row seats too. Your neighbor's daily pickleball game. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
WVLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Legend, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the next evolution of sports talk radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now we're taking...
With the first pick.
This is the last ball you got to bat. The Inside Drive. From college to the pros. Interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
That you won't
And good Tuesday morning. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. 104.3 here in Panama City and Panama City Beach. 101.9 in Port St. Joe along the beautiful Forgotten Coast. Hasn't rained in forever, but it is beautiful outside nonetheless. You can watch, like, listen, comment, subscribe, share, and follow. That is Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Just search it up, ESPN Northwest Florida. Streaming live every day. Morning show, Coach James Hale Show from 7 to 9. Inside Drive right here from 11 to 1. And, of course, the Afternoon Underdogs from 4 to 6 p.m. as well. You can find all of those shows not only on the airways, but streaming on social media as well. You can also download our free mobile app inside the Google Play or Apple Store. Just search 104.3 and you'll find it right there on the first page. Last but not least, ESPNPC.com. You can actually listen live there as well, but on that homepage, you scroll down just a little bit, look for that TV channel icon. That is Lucid Streams. Right now, Lucid Streams is doing a free 3-day trial so you can see what the fuss is all about. And for a mere $40 a month with code ESPN-NW, you can get over 2,000 channels, all the NFL games, all the college football games, NHL, NBA. Last night you had the Sports Equinox where you had all 4 major professional sports playing in one night, and that's what makes Sportstober so great. You can watch all that action, all the pay-per-view events, the fights, the boxing matches, UFC, whatever it may be. That's Lucid Streams, only $40 a month. Get your 3 free-day trial right now over at ESPNPC.com. All right, last night you had the World Series, you had Monday Night Football, you had all sorts of...
Go Yankees!
Yeah, man. Yankees in a...
I hate this World Series.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, but at least, I don't know. No team has ever won a World Series after being down 3-0. There has been, in fact, one team that has won the Game 4, but then went on to lose Game 5 in that one as well. But man, Freddie Freeman keeps on Freddie Freeman, and you know what you don't have to do when you hit home runs. You don't have to run the bases very fast. If you got a bum ankle, you might as well just keep hitting home runs.
World Series MVP, right? Like, who would have thought that it'd be Freddie Freeman?
I know, absolutely. If the crystal ball would have let us know he was going to do what he was doing, obviously he's a shoo-in right now, pretty much for the World Series MVP. He's hit a home run in 3 straight World Series games. There's only 2 other players to do that in World Series history. I know one of them was Barry Bonds. I forget the other gentleman.
I wonder if it's... I want to go back to Game 6. I feel like he hit a home run in 2021 World Series.
He's hit 5 straight home runs in World Series games.
That is so...
Dating back to the 2021 Atlanta Braves series.
What a stud, man. I hate you, but I love you so much, Freddie Freeman.
Well, and it ties a record for consecutive home runs in the World Series. But I figured out what I was trying to mention yesterday about his walk-off grand slam in Game 1. He's the first ever person to hit a walk-off grand slam in a World Series game. So that has never happened before. And, you dream up that as a kid. You're like, World Series. Normally you say Game 7, bottom of the ninth, score is tied, whatever it may be. And just like in Caddyshack when he's, on the 18th green at Augusta National, and the sensation comes out of nowhere. It's a ball in down the middle fair, and it goes in the hole. In the hole. But on the flip side of that, you've got the opposite side of things, Aaron Judge and Juan Soto, the 2 big stars for the Yankees that are just 1 of 12 with 7 strikeouts so far in this season. And Juan Soto's been likened to the Dodgers right now for a trade in the offseason should he want to make that move. But
it wouldn't be a trade, though, because he's
a signing. Sorry. But yeah, this series, Freddie Freeman has had 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, 4 extra base hits, and 0 strikeouts. The Yankees have had 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, 3 extra base hits, and 23 strikeouts. So Freddie Freeman's stats alone across all those categories are significantly better than the New York Yankees. So hey, you Dallas Cowboys fans out there, it's not getting any better with your Yankees, that's for sure. And Alabama lost to Vandy this year. So
hey, that's in the past.
That's the bandwagon.
We just shut out Missouri. Let's focus on that.
There you go.
How about that though?
It's the bandwagon trifecta.
Oh, I mean, it's so funny too because Nick Saban's a Yankees fan, so it's like what else you guys like? The Lakers? Okay, we'll just take the quadfecta, if you will. But it's funny to me. Actually, it's not funny. It's despicable. Missouri get shut out by Bama, and it's still in the top 25. The Vanderbilt, they should have moved up 5 spots. They're not a top 25 team. They're a top 20 team.
Yeah.
And they're going to show it this week. Sorry to our Auburn Tiger fans who are we're an affiliate, but it is.
We'll talk to Brad later and see what his thoughts are on the big Vandy game. Who would have thought that? I'm sure Vanderbilt thought that. They've certainly been very, very solid this year. But yes, it looks like the Yankees are pretty much done. That has never happened ever before. No World Series team has ever made it to they haven't made it to a Game 5 since 1970. So when you go down 3-0.
Yeah,
you're pretty much toast. Yeah, is what that's saying. There was a team that
I don't think they win tonight.
No, I mean, nobody's done it since 1970.
Right.
And that was, they won the Game 5, but then went on to lose Game 6 and lose the series. So, but yeah, I guess the Derek Jeter pregame speech did not get the Yankees fired up. Even the crowd gave Aaron Judge a standing ovation to try to.
They tried to Trey Turner him?
They tried to Trey Turner him, and it certainly didn't help.
Nah.
Didn't help, that's for sure. But hey, Shohei Ohtani looks well on his way to getting his first World Series ring. And who knows how many that may continue with the Dodgers, but time will also tell. Of course, we had a Monday Night Football game last night, and Mike Tomlin continues to be look like one of the better coaches we've had in the last 15, 20 years. Russell Wilson, he's doing well. He hasn't had 2 great first halves, but he's thrown for over 200 yards in the second half of both games. He was 20 of 28 last night for 270 yards and 2 touchdowns got called back, 2 George Pickens touchdowns. 2 feet don't count if it's the same foot, David.
Oh, well, yeah, that kind of makes sense, right?
It did. Yeah, you got to have both feet down. That's why you don't say 2 feet.
I forgot where I sent the meme today, but it was like a referee, but it was an AI over voice of it. And it's like a parlay protection.
Yes. Ooh, that's funny because the first one was called back on a offensive face mask, and then the second one he got 2 feet down, but it was the same foot 2 different times.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that doesn't count. Maybe they should update the rules.
No, they should not.
I know.
No,
that'd be wild. It'd be hard to double tap. It's pretty crazy that he in fact did that. But Calvin Austin, there's a name nobody's really talked about in a long time. Had a punt return and a beautiful touchdown catch. Russell Wilson looking pretty good, but hey, the Steelers are now 6-2, and they are ahead of the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC North. And
they haven't even played a divisional game yet.
Nope. They're 0-0 in the division. They are 4-1 in the conference, but they are a game ahead of the Ravens. The Ravens are 5-3, and then the New York Giants just continue to have a tough go about it. At least the Giants are last in the division, keeping the Cowboys a little bit ahead of them there. But yeah, Monday Night Football, really weird call from the Giants. I don't know if you saw this one or not, where they went for 2 and they lined up like a bunch of offensive linemen near the boundary and put Xavier Worthy and put
Malik Neighbors.
Yes, Malik Neighbors right behind him, almost like kind of a bubble screen kind of thing. But they threw the ball and none of the offensive linemen blocked. It was like, what the heck is going on?
Are they mad at Malik or something?
Maybe they're mad at somebody.
You got to love your neighbors, man. Come on.
That's it. If Malik Neighbors has a State Farm ad by the end of this year, State Farm's missing out on an opportunity. No doubt about that. I am not the first one to say that. I've read that many.
Why is it that he needs to be on a State Farm commercial?
Like a good neighbor.
Oh, State Farm.
Yeah.
Whoa, okay. Jay's in the building somewhere.
Maybe you're just absorbing some of
That's what I'm saying.
Jayism,
Yep. Living vicariously through him.
There you go. Quick update on the CMC situation for all you CMC people that have stashed him away on the IR with hopes that he would come back and give your team that boost to get you in the playoffs. Not only your team, but hopefully get the Niners in the playoffs as well, as they are 4-4. But Christian McCaffrey is expected to practice next week. They're on their bye week this week, so he's going to have a simulated practice while the Niners are on this bye this week, which basically means he's going to run through everything he would normally run through on a normal practice. And if it emerges with those sessions without any pains in his Achilles, his bilateral, Achilles, that means both. We figured that out a couple weeks ago. Then they'll open up that practice window for him next Monday, and he'll have a full week of practice leading up to the Tampa Bay game next week, or next Sunday, the 10th in Tampa Bay. So there might be some good news not only for Niners fans, but also for people that have Christian McCaffrey on their IR. And hopefully he is good to go, and hopefully he makes an impact like he used to. I don't see how him not playing it would really have a big, because he's just such a unique athlete. So we'll see how it goes. Looking forward to keeping everybody updated on that one. That is for sure. Speaking of keeping everybody updated, I do have the district results from yesterday in the 2A District 1 boys tournament over there at Panama Country Club.
Talking golf here.
Talking golf, local high school golf.
Shave it down to the minimum, baby. Here we go.
That's it. Just shave it on down. Jay, if you're listening, make sure when you come in next time you bring an additional shirt, because you're going to need to get the hair off that one.
Yeah, and maybe the other part of the punishment is bring your own clippers so I don't have to use mine on you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right. You got some coarse hair.
Who's got that?
Yeah, I was about to say, ruin your clippers. Oh, but anyway, the South Walton boys, they shot a nice little 301, even par 288 over there at Panama Country Club. That is only 13 over par between their 4 scores. Mosley Dolphins finished second. They get an automatic bid with that second place finish with a 324. The Arnold Marlins finished 2 shots back of Mosley for second place with a 326. And a good showing from Bay High as well with a nice little 345. Pensacola finished 5th. Washington, Choctawhatchee, West Florida, Fort Walton, and Escambia rounded out the team scores. Bo Baxter with a 70 from South Walton. Nice little 2 under par round in some, as Jay was telling us yesterday when he called in, greens are rolling fast and firm, so that's a great round of golf there. Second place, obviously another South Walton young man, William Mullins with a 75. Jack Floyd from Washington over there in Pensacola shot a 76. Ethan McGregor was the low Arnold boy, tied with Gage Williams. Both had 76s in that one. Ethan McGregor advances to the regionals as an individual, as they had a playoff with the 2 76s, and Gage missed. Jay was telling me Gage missed about a 1-foot putt to continue that playoff going. And then Lars Wiggins from South Walton shot a 77. So your top 3 for South Walton, or excuse me, your 4 scores counting for South Walton were all sub 80 rounds of golf. Some great stuff from the South Walton Seahawks over there. And then Hunter Chapman from Mosley was the low Mosley Dolphin with a 78. Cade Deneke with an 80. Brady Lent from Arnold had an 81. Michael Wong from Mosley also had an 81. I'll get the rest of the individuals here. Lucas Monk had a 90 for Mosley. I'm trying to appreciate the Chapman sending me all this score information early this morning, as I do not have access to that FHSAA app, which is where the golf scores live. And like me and David were talking about yesterday, there's just information just kind of all across the board. Jay was telling me this morning, though, that Arnold does have a chance for an at-large bid into the regional tournaments. They'll find out Thursday morning if the entire team is going or just Ethan McGregor heading over there to the Lake City area, I believe, is where they're potentially going. But yeah,
go Jay.
There you go.
Go Dolphins, too.
Yeah, Mosley, sports across the board looking really, really good. But, man, regional golf gets tough as it starts to get past the districts into the regionals, because now you start getting some of those South Florida teams that play a lot of golf down there. Not just during the season, but obviously play a lot of golf year-round as well. Not that we don't play golf year-round up here, but we do get a little colder than the South Florida compadres down there. Quick update on the NFL standings. We did mention that the Pittsburgh Steelers are now leading the AFC North over the Baltimore Ravens. Buffalo Bills absolutely dominating in the AFC East. They've got a 4-game lead over the Miami Dolphins, and they're also 2-0 in the division. That division's probably pretty much wrapped up. Houston Texans also 6-2. They've got a 2-game lead over the Indianapolis Colts. Shane Steichen in a press conference mentioned that he didn't know who was going to be the starter going into this weekend. weekend coming up next. So interesting developments. And I did see a stat that Anthony Richardson has like the lowest completion percentage in like since 2000 out of any eligible quarterback. So, they like to put C.J. Stroud and Anthony Richardson in the same sentence quite a bit, but I think that ship has sailed at this point. I don't know.
I mean, we could see how their careers play out, but I've never thought of them as the same style quarterback at all. I mean, Anthony Richardson he's got a big arm.
He's a physically gifted.
Absolutely. But outside of that, to be successful as an NFL quarterback, you've got to have all the throws in your bag. You got to be able to throw short and accurate, medium and accurate. You got to be cerebral. You got to know how to get down. And Anthony Richardson has, a couple of the qualities, and he's made it work to this point. But we haven't even been able to see him for a full season. If you're at this point in the season, after a close loss to the division favorites, if you will, and your coach is talking about benching you, that's not the greatest sign in the world.
Not the greatest sign in the world. Kansas City Chiefs 7-0, only a 2-game lead over those Denver Broncos. Surprising that they're 5-3. David, for you, more surprising the Denver Broncos.
Ohio Brad says Richardson is a less creepy Deshaun Watson.
I like that, Brad. That's good. That is good. Maybe we don't know. Maybe he is creepy.
Yeah.
But now we know for a fact that Deshaun certainly is. And Jameis Winston. Did you see the Jameis Winston clip when he was in the tunnel and he was getting everybody fired up and he was talking about how we play for the city, we play for what's on our jersey, we play for what's on our helmet, and the guy next to him's like, we don't have anything on our helmet.
He said that, but then he said something about like the name on the bottom of them.
Yeah. That was good.
Jameis says, I love watching those compilations of like just all the things that he said, and there's a lot of stuff where you're just like, it might sound stupid, but if you dig into what he's saying, it's got some powerful meanings to it. So
absolutely,
I love what Jameis went. I mean, his career path being what he was at Florida State and then coming into the NFL with the Buccaneers, 30 interceptions year one, and then now kind of becoming a journeyman. I would love to see him on the Tennessee Titans. I can tell you one thing, we
would welcome him with open arms.
I would at least enjoy the content that comes out of the Titans instead of having to watch a guy who's promoting frickin' mayonnaise.
Yeah. Ugh. Man. Will. Not even the starter anymore.
Yeah, it's like they were so gung-ho about we're sticking with Will Levis throughout the season. Like
Week 5, Mason, come on, you're up.
Yeah. Now we got a daggum Christmas quarterback.
Yep. Oh, goodness. Hey, Big Christmas did some things for the Guardians, that's for sure. But, more surprising, the Steelers being 6-2 or the Broncos being 5-3?
The Steelers being 6-2?
Yeah.
Or the Broncos being 5-3? More surprising is absolutely the Broncos.
Yeah. I mean, I think coming a little bit more out of nowhere. Obviously, the Steelers, their defense might have an edge over the Ravens as far as a complete defense. Now, the Giants are the Giants.
Yeah, because of the secondary.
Yeah, exactly. But, that's kind of been, I don't know if the Steelers have been the Ravens' bugaboo in the past, but I'm sure they have been.
Yeah.
But it looks like...
I think they've been each other's bugaboos.
Yeah, absolutely, kind of knocking each other out here and there. But, hey, they, I don't know if they've played each other yet, but obviously...
Ravens and the Steelers?
Yeah.
The Steelers haven't played a divisional game.
I just said that about 12 minutes ago.
And but when it gets going for the Steelers, is like, all right, here you go.
Division.
Oh, man.
Heavy-handed in that one. But those will be some great football games, that old AFC North rivalry rocking and rolling. Over there on the NFC side, Washington Commanders 6-2, a 1-game lead over the Philadelphia Eagles. Both teams are 1-0 in the division, so the tiebreaker would not go to that. It would continue on. There's a million tiebreakers in the NFL. And the Dallas Cowboys are 3-4. The Giants 2-6. NFC North, very strong division. 4-3 puts you in last place, and that is the Chicago Bears after the Hail Mary from this past weekend. Detroit Lions 6-1. Green Bay Packers 6-2. Minnesota Vikings 5-2. NFC North could have at least 3 playoff teams come the end of the season. But we're about halfway through the NFL season, which it's crazy how quick it just always continues to go. We are a few days away from the start of November, which is crazy. Atlanta Falcons 5-3 in the NFC South. The Bucs are 4-4. Huge drop-off then to the Saints and the Panthers. The Saints 2-6, Panthers 1-7. Saints just can't really seem to get anything going. I got to imagine Dennis Allen's, depending on how the rest of the season goes, goes, may not be the Saints coach per the end of the year. But hey, I know one of our listeners.
Wouldn't it be so funny, Travis Peterson? Did he change his mind on?
Because of the first two games where they beat the Cowboys and
changed his mind on Dennis Allen. So wouldn't it be absolutely diabolically hilarious if Billy Napier is still the coach of the Florida Gators next year and Dennis Allen is out? It's like, you got to flip flop, buddy. And we should be expected to call soon. But Travis, we've got Doc A coming up next.
We do.
So wait till 12 or 11:40.
Cardinals currently leading the NFC West 4-4, tied with the Niners and the Seahawks, but they currently are 2-0 in the division, so they own the tiebreaker. But like David said, we got to take a quick break. We got Doc A coming up next. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Cowherd. Take out Mahomes, who would you want with a ball with a minute and a half left and one timeout to score a touchdown? Matt Stafford arguably is number 2. You think Sean McVay is unhappy with that quarterback? After that performance, he still doesn't have his best interior offensive lineman. He still doesn't have his top tight end.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Weekdays, ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Tuesday. For this afternoon and evening, sunshine and a high of 82 with a gentle breeze around 10 miles per hour out of the east. Tonight, clear skies with lows around 70. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a gentle breeze and a temperature near 82. Moving into Thursday, about the same with a high of 81 and mostly sunny. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Time for new tires? Nobody knows your Toyota better. And this month, when you buy 3 tires, you get the 4th for just $1. Schedule your service online or give us a call at Panama City Toyota.
Offer expires October 31st. For details, visit PanamaCityToyota.com.
Time for new tires? Nobody knows your Toyota better. And this month, when you buy 3 tires, you get the 4th for just $1. Schedule your service online or give us a call at Panama City Toyota.
Offer expires October 31st. For details, visit PanamaCityToyota.com.
Experience a higher level of service. David Adamson Designer Jewelry has been providing you the very best of fine jewelry and repair in Lynn Haven for over 32 years. David has added Amber Anderson and Russ Klinger, names you've known and trusted in PCB for years with your fine jewelry and watch needs. Find that one-of-a-kind engagement ring, that special anniversary gift, or something colorful just for you. Amber and Russ will find it or build it for you. Serving Bay County and beyond in Lynn Haven at the corner of Ohio Avenue and 9th. David Adamson Designer Jewelry.
Live from the 19th hole.
I can't believe you're a professional golfer. I think you should be working at the snack bar.
It's the Inside Drive from the Bill Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studio.
The price is wrong.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. And now...
Doctor, my eyes.
Doc A joins the Inside Drive. It's just what the doctor orders.
Oh, doctor! Talk to your doctor before use.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. One of my favorite sports writers out there in the ethos, some might say, is our good friend Doc A. Doc, it's Tuesday. We are 1 week into the NBA season. How are you doing, my friend?
I see what you did there with the ethos. That was good.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. If Jay was here, he wouldn't have understood that, but that's okay.
I'm doing okay.
The voice is sounding a little bit better each week.
Yeah, that's what people keep telling me. But I don't know. It all depends on what hour of the day you talk to me at as to how my voice is doing. But overall, I'd say I'm doing pretty well. And what an interesting weekend of football we had, and interesting first week of the NBA season.
Yeah, no doubt. A lot of crazy things transpiring across the, and yesterday we had the sports equinox where we had all 4 major sports playing at the same time, and certainly did not disappoint. But if you were a Giants fan, you were certainly disappointed. And, we were texting during Sunday Night Football, and the San Francisco 49ers seemed to kind of find their stride a little bit there in the second half. Tried to give it away there at the end, but I had CeeDee Lamb on my fantasy team, so I was okay with those 2, not quite garbage time touchdowns, but late touchdowns there in the game. And good news this week, CMC is going to try to simulate practice and hopefully open up his practice window next week. So anybody who has him on the IR may be able to move him just in time for the Bucs game coming up in a couple weeks, or about 10 days or so. But yeah, sports is, we're almost in November. It's pretty crazy. We're already 1 week into the NBA season, and the Boston Celtics, 4-0, quick start. I know it's a long season. They still have 77 games to play, but in your opinion, the Boston Celtics just continue to play great basketball. What makes them so dominant on the hardwood?
That's a great question. I think it's a combination of coaching, combination of depth. It's a combination of having a guy in your starting lineup like Derek White, who's so good defensively, and Drew Holiday, so good defensively. We said it all summer. It's crazy that the Celtics can basically just tell Kristaps Porzingis to chill out till the playoffs get here because we don't need you.
Yeah,
That's how good and how deep they are.
No doubt, and fun to watch too. Because like you just said, you said the D word a couple times, which is seems to be what gets you going a little bit nowadays in the NBA. That defensive prowess, and that's how you win the championships. Is when it matters, you've got to play good defense, and they've got a couple studs on that team that certainly play some good defense. Speaking on the fantasy side of things, obviously we're a small sample size, just a week into the game. Most teams have played either 3 or 4 games. Of course, Tuesday night's a big night in the NBA. Any players that, from a fantasy perspective, that may have not gone drafted, that have shown themselves or rose up a little bit, that people that do play fantasy NBA basketball might want to take a look at picking up?
Well, yeah, I'll start with Cam Thomas. He's rostered everywhere, but I was all over Cam Thomas this draft season, and right now he's like 11th overall in fantasy.
Wow.
Scoring almost 31 points a game. He's been incredible. He's only 3 games in, but he's on fire. And also Jordan Poole is much better this year than he was last year. So those are 2 surprises that are interesting, I think. Another guy I've been really high on that I've picked up in a lot of leagues is Norman Powell of the Clippers. And he's like 5th, 6th round value right now. He's scoring about 25 a game. Doesn't do a ton of out with blocks and steals, but for somebody you can just get off your waiver wire, he's pretty good. And then Christian Braun, Braun, of the Denver Nuggets, is still available in some of my leagues, and he's like 3rd or 4th round value right now. Is how well he's playing, like right there with Victor Wembanyama. So this is another guy people should be looking at to pick up.
Yeah, no doubt. And, obviously fantasy football is very different than fantasy basketball. So what are there things that you look for? Obviously scoring points and getting these stats is what you're really looking for. But are there certain things that you look for, any trends, stuff like that, when you see players that you may start, sit, or pick up?
I want guys who are playing a lot of minutes.
Okay.
If you're not playing minutes,
you're not scoring.
You can't do stuff. So how much are they playing? Is somebody injured on their team? Like there's another guy, Santi Aldama, who's playing very well for Memphis right now. He got off to a hot start because Jaren Jackson Jr. was out. But it stuck. Even with Jaren Jackson Jr. back, Aldama's still playing really well. 4 games in, 15.5 points, 7.5 boards, 4 assists. So, and he's playing 29 minutes a game. So I'd rather have a guy that's struggling a little bit and playing 29 minutes a game than have a guy who's had one or two big games, but is only playing 15 minutes a night.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. I know, I believe it was you, Doc. I don't talk to any other NBA guys, so it had to have been you. But you were pretty high, I believe last week, pretty high on Anthony Davis, and he's off to a hot start this season. He's currently leading the league in points per game at 32.8. Obviously, you're not surprised, but, as long as AD can kind of stay healthy, I think if you've got him on... Is he on your fantasy team?
I've got him on a few.
Okay,
yeah,
that's right.
If I had the 5th or 6th pick in drafts, I was taking Davis. He looks like he's got that MVP mentality going. The easy money is on Luka to win the MVP.
Always, yeah.
But if Davis can stay healthy, he's going to have just as good a chance as Luka. Just all depends is can he play in 70 games?
Yeah. Will he be
70,
out there?
75. And he did that last year, which was quite surprising to a lot of us. But if Davis is playing, he's going to be in the MVP talk. So I'm pretty excited with how he looks.
Now, I hadn't heard a lot about the Ball brothers in a long time, but LaMelo for the Hornets averaging 31.7. Did that kind of come out of nowhere, or is it his brother that's the one that kind of has been in the background compared to him?
Well, LaMelo's the good one. And LaMelo, the one that's averaging 31.7 is the one that's the top 10 fantasy guy. And he's been hurt. His ankles are like made out of Doritos. So he hasn't really played at all the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And then Lonzo, the other Bell brother, one of the other Bell brothers, is in Chicago, and he's had a really serious leg injury, and it's taken him forever to get back. But LaMelo's like Anthony Davis, man. If he can stay healthy for 70 to 75 games, he's going to put up ridiculous numbers. So not surprised at all by LaMelo. Too much risk for me to mess with him this year. But if you took him, you got to feel good about it so far.
No doubt. I mean, obviously very, very early on the season, but I'll ask a Jay question here. What flavor Doritos are his ankles?
Cool Ranch.
Ooh. The best one, your opinion?
No, I'm not a Cool Ranch guy.
No? Nacho cheese?
I like the regular old nacho. Yeah. Nacho cheese.
The classic. That's we've had that as a poll question, I believe, on here before. Now there's like 37 million different flavors of Doritos, but yeah, Cool Ranch, nacho cheese.
37 million flavors of everything.
Yeah, no doubt.
When I grew up, there was lemon lime Gatorade.
Yep.
And then eventually orange came along. It was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But now it's like, I can't even, there's like more flavors of Gatorade than there are in his 64 box of crayons.
They're probably naming the crayons after Gatorade colors now. But yeah, right. I mean, that's true. I mean, now they got Gatorade G2, Gatorade Zero, Gatorade Light. No, they got Gator Light. That's the one that's very salty, very hydration-y. It's funny where Gatorade has to make a brand that's better for hydration. The original Gatorade. What does that tell you about the original Gatorade? I don't know. Maybe it's not that great for you. I don't know. Anyway, you sent me a pic of the command center and all your different action. I believe that was Sunday night. I did see a nice frosty beverage in that command center pic. Want to know what Doc A's command center beverage of choice is?
Oh, it's always Creature Comforts Tropicalia, which is local. I think you can only buy it in Georgia.
Okay.
The Creature Comforts is a brewery in Athens, and when they were filming the Avengers movies here, remember Fat Thor drinking beer?
Gotcha. Yeah.
In the Avengers, Fat Thor was drinking Creature Comforts beers, and that was a big deal for the little tiny brewery in Athens, Georgia. So if it's good enough for Thor, I figure I might as well I might as well do it too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fair. Looks like they, I just pulled up their website where you're talking about it. Yeah, it looks like some good selections, some different ones. What'd you say that one, the brand was? Or not the brand, but the flavor.
Tropicalia, the IPA.
Gotcha.
Tropicalia.
It did look like an IPA with its color. So, but yeah, because everybody's got to have their beverage of choice when they're in there working on all their things. And you had multiple screens going on, and football, basketball. I think I saw a spreadsheet in there as well. So, a lot of stuff rocking and rolling. All right. Got to get last week. You were 3 out of 5 on the points, assists, rebounds over under, and so I'm going to pull it from the Timberwolves, and I believe they're playing. Who are they playing tonight? They are playing Minnesota.
Dallas.
Yes, Minnesota and Dallas playing tonight. I'm guessing, is that a TNT game? Because it is Tuesday night in basketball. Yeah, the TNT doubleheader. Yeah, Mavs, Timberwolves at 6:30 our time, followed by, looks like, the Pelicans and the Warriors, 9 p.m. our time, 10 p.m. your time. All right, so we're just going to live in that Mavericks-Timberwolves game. Again, last week you were on fire. If you bet 3 out of the 5, then you did pretty good because you probably covered the other ones that didn't hit. But Luka, who's averaging about this number between his points, rebounds, and assists, his number for this game is 45.5. You going over or under in that one?
Well, first of all, we have to make sure he's playing because they played last night.
Ooh.
And I was just randomly poking around, and I saw Luka Doncic double-double. I'm like, hey, I'll throw some money on that. Well, he had 15 points, 9 boards, 8 assists. So he missed it. And it ended up being, the odds were crazy. And it was like minus 2,500 or whatever, 250. Anyway, I lost money and I was ticked off. So I don't know if Luka can bounce back tonight. I think he should. If he's playing,
it's a big number.
He's going to hit that number because he's only hit like 4 out of 20 shots last night.
So he's ready to bounce back big time.
Bounce back is coming.
Gotcha. I like it. Yeah, I was searching it up while you said it. He's expected to play tonight when they take on the Timberwolves. The 5-time All-Star is not on Dallas's injury report and should play barring any last-minute injuries. So looking for the big bounce-back game tonight from Luka. Ant-Man, 38.5.
He's going to be fired up about playing against Luka. I'm going over.
Ooh, I like it. All right. Kyrie Irving, 28.5.
I hate going all overs. It doesn't feel right. But I'm taking Kyrie over.
Well, you were 3 for 5 last week, and I think you were one of them you hit the under. All right, so over on 28.5. Next, Rudy Gobert at 25.5.
I'm going to go under.
All right, there we go. And then last but not least, because 5 just seemed like a good number for it, Klay Thompson, 19.5.
Over. He's playing good.
All right, good. I like this. This is kind of selfish too, from my side of things with with Hard Rock and all that good stuff. But yeah, that's big matchups tonight coming up. Doc, anything? What about that? I want to ask you about the Hail Mary there with Washington and everything is going on.
Man.
What were your thoughts on that whole play? Good, bad, and indifferent.
I was laying in my bed. My wife was reading a book. I had the game on. I'm laying there, and I heard them while my eyes were closed. They're like, well, this one's over except for the fat lady or whatever. And I think I fell asleep like right as the play snapped. And I woke up when the announcers are screaming at the end. And I'm like, what the hell happened? Grab the remote. I rewind it, and I see the play, and I was like, oh my God! Like they said on the broadcast, they will be talking about and showing this play for decades. Like that's the kind of play that in the 70s the whole world saw it because it was the only game that was on TV.
Yeah,
and it felt like that sort of moment. Just so massive, and Jaden Daniels looks incredible, and what a season that kid's having.
Yeah, no doubt, and they are getting. They're only a game ahead of the Philadelphia Eagles, but are certainly separating themselves. And NFL is off to an exciting start, and some surprises that have transpired. Some teams that you expected to do great that aren't really doing that good, and then vice versa. The Washington Commanders obviously being one of those, and certainly the ownership transition, the new coaching staff, and obviously making a good draft pick with Jaden Daniels is starting to pay off for the Commanders.
You guys talked about the Colts and Richardson sitting out.
We did a little bit yesterday. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that? And I was asking David yesterday, I was like, have you ever heard of a NFL quarterback sitting out a play because he was tired? And Dave was like, no.
Never.
Yeah.
Never. And Pat McAfee.
Yeah, called him out.
He hasn't heard of it either.
Yeah.
So I'm just like... And I don't think he knew when he was in his press conference, like, hey, man, I was just tired. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you all. I was just tired. I don't think he realized how that was going to blow back on him.
Yeah. Being honest in that answer is probably not the not what you want to, my hamstring was hurting a little bit. I need to come out for a play because I just ran around a bunch. Yeah, saying you're tired, that's, crazy stuff. But hey, it's the NFL, and we are we're actually halfway through the season, which is crazy. So if people are struggling in the fantasy world, it's halfway over. But if you're doing good, you've got some more time to get those leads going a little bit bigger. Doc A, we appreciate you as always. Hopefully that voice continues to get a little better, and I'll keep you updated on all those over-unders tonight and see how you did, because last week I'll take 3 out of 5 every day.
All right, let me know, man.
All right, take care, Doc Ed. We appreciate you as always. You guys are hanging out with us here on the Inside Drive on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida is your home for college football and the Auburn Tigers.
He dives! He's in! Touchdown, Auburn!
We heard you, Tiger fans. So this season, we're airing every single game. And you can take that to the bank. Plus, the biggest games in the SEC and around the country play here on your official station for college football, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Are you looking to invest in rare coins and precious metals? Well, look no further. Coin and Bullion Reserves is Bay County's trusted source for rare coins and precious metals. Located in the heart of Panama City, our showroom is stocked with a vast selection of gold and silver bullion, rare coins, and currency. Whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned collector, we have what you're looking for. Our sales staff has over 50 years of experience to help guide you through your purchase. Come and visit Coin and Bullion Reserves today and build your collection with confidence.
It's time to pick your path and go big, go bold. You can drive away in a new 2024 Telluride from Bill Bird Kia. The 2024 Telluride protects what matters, and it's built for the long haul. Its technology will connect with confidence, and upscale all-around rugged look will take you onto your next adventure. The road is yours. Bill Bird Kia, the home of that 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. 20-year, 200,000-mile warranties and Bill Bird Kia warranty.
As a realtor, it's important who you choose as your title company. May we suggest South Oak Title? Their offices are modern, comfortable, and state-of-the-art. South Oak Title can close transactions in any location in Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee. Their free mobile app allows realtors to deliver a net sheet in seconds. They provide mobile closing services to accommodate buyers and sellers. Their offices are beautifully decorated, state-of-the-art, complete, safe, and secure. South Oak Title, creating a better title and closing experience through technology and tailored service. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
The locals love it.
You're gonna love this. You are my favorite. It's my favorite.
Everybody's favorite. The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida, your home for the Mosley Dolphins football. one more regular season game, and then hopefully as many playoff games as it takes right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. You can download our free mobile app so you can make sure you can hear those Mosley Dolphins wherever you have your cell phone. And, of course, if you've got them on the dial, you'll hear them wherever you are in your car. They'll be traveling over to Florida State High School this Friday, 6 p.m. kickoff here in the Central Time Zone, 7 p.m. over there in Tallahassee. We appreciate the Mosley Dolphins Touchdown Club and the relationship we have here with ESPN Northwest Florida. Good luck to those Dolphins, as me and David talked about it yesterday. Hopefully a good, strong matchup to get them ready for the postseason, as hard to believe the final week of high school football is indeed here already. But as I said multiple times already on the show, we are transitioning into the month of November come this Friday. All right, we kind of left off yesterday on the recapping the top 25 scores from this past weekend. We finished, I believe, with the BYU-UCF game, as we called it the lock of the week last week. A weird spread. Didn't really know why. I was waiting for something crazy to happen, because a lot of times when you think it's that obvious, there's a reason why it's not that obvious. And luckily, that didn't happen.
Right out of the gate, it was like 17-0. Like, yes, all right, maybe let me put another one in.
Yeah, I feel good about this. And then another one that a lot of people saw coming was the Notre Dame-Navy score. Obviously, Navy was undefeated going into that game, but the competition a little different than what Notre Dame brings to the table. Navy made too many turnovers in that game and ended up dropping that one handedly, 51-14. The Indiana Hoosiers stay undefeated and on that collision course with Ohio State here in a few weeks coming up. They won over Washington 31-17. That 2-time zone travel continues to wreak havoc there in the Big Ten. Little fun fact about Curt Cignetti: he's the first ever Division I coach to start 8-0 in 2 consecutive seasons at different schools. He was with JMU last year, and they started 8-0, and then eventually started 10-0, and then currently 8-0 with the Indiana Hoosiers. Another fun fact: I don't think Curt Cignetti has smiled once in either one of those seasons as well. So maybe he'll break that coming up here. I don't know if they're playing this week or not. I'm assuming that they are. Alabama Crimson Tide, as David said earlier in the show, won 34-0, shutting out those Missouri Tigers, who started out like a ball of fire, but are kind of plateaued and seem to be, not getting any better. Now, I know Brady Cook was in. I believe he got injured early in that game, and
yeah, he did. I think he got injured last week and kind of re-aggravated it.
Yeah, makes sense. And so, backup quarterbacks got to be ready to go. But Alabama played well. No, we did talk about this one because I mentioned that Jalen Milroe is the first ever Alabama quarterback to pass for 25 and run for 25 touchdowns in program history. Kansas State now 7-1, 4-1 in the Big 12, beat Kansas 29-27. They were able to get that lead late in that game, and they ended up with a 4th down stop to seal the victory. Kansas State 7-1 and continuing to have a great season. Oklahoma continues to struggle in their first season in the SEC. Ole Miss kind of got out ahead and put the clamps down on Oklahoma, who couldn't score a single point in the second half. Ole Miss ended up winning that one 26-14. They improved to 6-2, 2-2 in the SEC. And then SMU needed overtime to beat the Duke Blue Devils, those pesky Duke Blue Devils, who have been a tough out for a lot of teams. And SMU won that one 28-27. I don't know if Duke tried to go for 2 in overtime or if they missed a field goal. I don't know what happened, but
SMU blocked it, I believe.
Ooh, there you go.
Wait, that might have been the field goal at the end of the game, at the end of regulation, actually. Yeah. SMU did block a field goal.
And Duke's potential game-winning kick blocked as time expired.
Yeah, I think Duke went for the win, trying to go for 2, and they weren't able to get it. Yeah. Which is like, I don't know why you do that, because on the next possession you have to go for 2, so play it out.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes you feel like the momentum is switched, and if you have an opportunity to win, you want to try to take it. But then if you miss it, it's like a guaranteed loss almost.
I get that if you're at the end of the game.
True.
Right?
True.
But what
Overtime,
I'm saying is when you're in overtime and then you automatically know on the next possession that's what you're going to be doing anyways. Yep. I get where you're coming from. I do, and I think that like if that's how the head coach is feeling, that's fine.
Because you're going into overtime knowing that you probably don't have the best chance.
Right, but they're in overtime already, so it's like you've made it here, and you were an 11.5-point dog in that game. So to stick, I mean, Duke is having a very good season, underrated. I know that, a lot of the people like, oh, I can't believe Duke beat FSU, but this right here is the showing of how good they are, because SMU really, once they started getting on the roll, they have been a tough team to corral, and
tough out.
Duke was able to do that for the most part.
Yeah, the Duke Blue Devils 6-2 on the season, 2-2 in the conference. Speaking of conference standings, the Clemson Tigers currently atop the ACC, as they have one more conference win than the Miami Hurricanes. But Miami is undefeated overall. Clemson's 6-1 overall. SMU, as David was just saying, 7-1 on the season, 4-0 in the conference. Kind of, I don't know if surprising is the right word, but the Pitt Panthers, every once in a while they have a season that is pretty dang good.
Yeah,
and this
also
is
underrated.
Certainly one of those. 7-0 right now in the total, 3-0 in the conference. And who does Pittsburgh have next? Pittsburgh. Ooh, great matchup coming up against SMU.
Ooh.
That'll be on the ACC network this Saturday at 7 p.m.
That's a tough pick right there. That is a tough pick.
Bet the over?
I would say so, but I don't know. I don't have that right in front of me right now, so I'll go over to our favorite app and.
I want to see if ESPN. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I like how betting was so bad and it was never. But now you can just navigate it right there on ESPN, and ESPN's got it at 58.5. Obviously, that's up there. It's get a little 30 to 28 action, and you don't cover it, and that half a point always lingers out there. But in Hard Rock, you can move that line around a little bit. Obviously,
you can. I did that last night with the Steelers. Took a -7.
There you go.
And they won by 8, right?
Smart. See, it pays off. And I know you missed one by a half. Over the weekend, I think is what you said. You had a game that missed by a half.
Well, I missed $200 by the Ravens losing to the Browns. Yeah, because I had a little parlay, and then I had just the Ravens straight up.
Yeah.
And, so it is what it is. Like, the parlay was going to win 121, and then the Ravens was going to win, 96, so.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And now it came back with the Steelers last night because you moved it to...
Fair enough, right? That's... My my betting chart is up, down, 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 like a Grand Theft Auto cheat code or something.
Played in Mortal Kombat trying to do a finishing move.
Yeah.
An animality.
Did you ever know the moves, or was it just I'm a button smasher when it comes to fighting games? Oh, look, that's a new move. Didn't know you could do that.
Just playing the game?
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Some of them you did, scorpions and stuff like that, so you could get the spear coming out. But yeah, I mean, a lot of times you just hit a combination of things and something cool would happen. And it was. But you like the finishing moves and stuff like that. I feel like you had to have the Game Informer magazine.
Yeah. Well, or Google.
Yeah. If it was around.
Well, at the time that I didn't have that when I was playing the game, obviously then, but I'm saying now.
Oh, now, absolutely.
Yeah.
Kids have no idea. It's more fun to try to figure it out.
Fighting games? No, not at all, because, again, I'm just a button smasher. But fighting games are fun, but those are one of those ones that I can play for maybe 30, 45 minutes, but I have to be playing with someone else physically in the same building.
And that's how it was.
Exactly.
And you got somebody sitting there, I got next.
There was another one, Soul Calibur.
Ooh,
Soul Calibur was a fun game. My buddy Heath Dittman put me on that one. Shout out to you, Heath. Probably not listening, but it's all right, my man.
Hey, you might be. You never know.
You never know. Maybe someone's listening that knows Heath and be like, man, I heard your name on the radio today.
I heard your name in a while. He heard it on ESPN Northwest Florida. But yes, Pitt and ACC's got 4 teams ranked now in the top 25. Over on the Big 12 side of things, those BYU Cougars are looking pretty dang good after they beat UCF this weekend. 8-0 on the season, 5-0 in the conference, number 9 in the country. The days of Zach Wilson seem to be long gone with BYU at the helm for the Cougars. They're just a fun story this year for me. I'm really pulling for them. I don't know if it's the colors. I don't know if it's the beautiful snowy mountains in the background of their stadium. Just something about BYU that you're they feel like an underdog, but maybe not. I don't know.
I'd rather see Iowa State win the Big 10 or Big 12.
Yeah, the Cyclones.
I'm not pulling for them.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
no, but that's the beauty of it, though, right? Is because you really, and honestly, it would be really wild if Iowa State somehow slips up and Colorado can find their way into the Big 12 championship.
Trending in the right direction.
I just love how, So last year I was on the bandwagon, kind of hopped off this year because I don't go, I don't like this team or anything. He's like, no, I like to look at the reality of how the team is made up. Their defense did not look like it was like they fixed the issues, and now it has. And I love how under the skin, people like it gets under a certain demographic people's skin whenever Colorado is doing well, and I love that, man. It just gives me a bunch of joy.
There you go. Yeah, Colorado 6-2 overall, 4-1. That's tied for third in the conference with K-State, and only behind BYU and Iowa State. Iowa State, fun team as well. Of course, being a huge Brock Purdy fan, he obviously kind of transcended Iowa State a little bit and brought them to the promise, so to speak. But good to see some of these Big 12 teams that have been with the Big 12 for a little while doing some things. But Colorado.
None of these teams are outside of Iowa State, right?
But that's the one I was referencing.
Okay, gotcha.
But
BYU's new, Colorado's new.
K-State's been in there.
K-State, yes. K-State's a mainstay.
But Colorado, BYU, they've come over recently. But Colorado cracked the top 25, number 23 in the country.
I wonder if that bodes well for them, or does that start getting them back inside of their heads?
Yeah, because they're more like, hey, we're not getting the respect we deserve, chip on our shoulder kind of thing. Yeah, I can see that.
We'll see how it plays out, though, man.
Yeah,
I mean, Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback in college football, and I really don't think that it's that close because of how bad the offensive line is.
Yeah, and he's been sacked a gajillion times.
I know that he rubs people the wrong way, and that's fine. That's fine. Like,
his dad rubbed people the wrong way, too.
Right, exactly.
But you can't argue with the talent.
The Rolly and all of that good stuff. Sure, makes sense. But I will say that if he can keep his head on straight and try to stay humble, which doesn't seem like that's the case, he could be a decent NFL quarterback.
Yeah. No doubt. Colorado's path to winning these last 4 games isn't quite as challenging as some of the other ones at the top. They've got Texas Tech on the road, Utah at home, Kansas on the road, and they finish with Oklahoma State in Boulder. So
Oklahoma State's a team that could trip them up because they might overlook them.
Well, and it's the last game of the season, too, so you put, quote-unquote, more pressure on there.
And then Texas Tech is another team that's not really getting a lot of talk about them.
Points.
And they almost took down TCU. They really should have won that game, but then they just kind of gave it up late, and that's the beautiful game of football for you.
No doubt. BYU finishes on the road at Utah, home against Kansas, on the road against Arizona State, which is another tough opponent that scores a lot of points. And then they finish up the season with a Cougar-on-Cougar matchup with Houston coming into town. So keep an eye on the Big 12 as they finish up their season. A lot of stuff still to go, and we are a week away from the first college football playoff ranking.
Oh, man.
I know.
It just stinks when you see these records like 8-0. You're like, no. We just got you back, man. We just got you back.
That it's all going to change. Mountain West Conference has only got one in the top 25, and that is those Boise State Broncos, 6-1 on the season, 3-0 in the conference. The Pac-2, they've got a top 25 team in the Washington State Cougars. Apparently, if you're a Cougar, you're doing pretty good in college football.
Hey, Cougars for the win, baby, all the time.
No doubt, no doubt. I can say that myself. The Southeastern Conference, obviously, lots of teams in the top 25, but I think everybody's maybe slightly surprised who's at the top right now, and that is the Texas A&M Aggies at 5-0, followed by Georgia 4-1, Texas 3-1. Really looking forward to that Texas A&M Texas game to finish out both of those team seasons, as that could have an SEC championship berth on the line. LSU 3-1, the Crimson Tide 3-2, and then Arkansas, Missouri, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, and the Florida Gators at 2-2 as well. Who would have thought that the Gators are having a 4-3 type of season? I know it's not crazy good, but hey, it's probably a lot better than a lot of people thought.
The win total was 4.5. Man.
Yeah,
you win one
more, and they got to play Florida State. Yeah. So I mean, if you bet that, you're probably looking pretty good.
It's like an automatic dub.
There you go. There you go.
They should just simulate those games.
Oh, there you go. Now Florida State probably have a better chance if that happened. I know we ran up against a break. You guys are listening to the Inside Drive. We'll be right back with our afternoon delight debrief.
Weather in the Panhandle never stops. Turn to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast.
We're up to the minute weather reports all day long.
A chance of thunderstorms and moderate rain.
In-depth storm coverage.
Hurricane Helene.
And breaking weather as it happens.
We do have a tropical storm warning.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Tuesday. For this afternoon and evening, sunshine and a high of 82 with a gentle breeze around 10 miles per hour out of the east. Tonight, clear skies with lows around 70. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a gentle breeze and a temperature near 82. Moving into Thursday, about the same with a high of 81 and mostly sunny. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Bestway Portable Buildings has been your portable building specialist since 1989. Before you invest your hard-earned money someplace else, owner Jason Mulder invites you to stop by Bestway and get a quote on just about any size building. And whether you buy with Bestway or not, it's worth the trip just to meet Bestway Buddy. Say hello, buddy. Good boy. Bestway Portable Buildings, just north of Harts Marine on 231, and online at bestwayportablebuildings.com. The best in portable, period. Tell them Buddy sent ya.
WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lyndhaven, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hey everyone, Chef Ross here. I would like to personally invite you to come out for the 3rd annual Pop's Pig Pickin' Barbecue on November 2nd at 12 p.m. at the Break Room. We'll be having a delicious barbecue meal prepared by myself, handicap spot pool tournament, a 50-50 raffle, and more. Dinner is $20 and the pool tournament is $15. A special thanks to our amazing sponsors, Pineapple Willie's, ESPN Northwest Florida, Team MVP, and the Break Room. All proceeds benefit Beach Care Services, where locals help locals.
And now, the afternoon delight debrief with the 3 degenerates from the Inside Drive. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios.
Afternoon delight.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
And we are back to listen to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. 104.3 in Panama City and Panama City Beach and all the beautiful surrounding areas. 101.9 in Port St. Joe and the Forgotten Coast. You can watch, like, listen, comment, subscribe, share, follow. That's Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, live every day, all 3 shows. You can see them streaming, and you can even go back and watch them after the fact. You can also download our free mobile app inside the Google Play Store. That's all you got to do is search 104.3. It'll show up right there on the first page of the search results in those stores. You can also head over to ESPNPC.com. Scroll down just a little bit, see that TV channel icon. Right now, a 3-day free trial with Lucid Streams, so you can find out what all the hype is about and how you can save a lot of money on your viewing. And however you get it now, I guarantee Lucid Streams, unless you're getting it for free, Lucid Streams is certainly a little cheaper. And if you can use code ESPN-NW, it's going to get you about $40 a month, over 2,000 channels, all the sporting events, all the pay-per-view events, movie channels, whatever it is, it's on Lucid Streams. And you can get a free 3-day trial right now and take advantage of that. See if you like it. Do it this weekend. See if all the sporting games you want to watch are on there. I guarantee that they are. That is ESPN.
Guarantee it.
There it is. I guarantee it. What was that? What was that commercial? The I guarantee it. Forget who that was. Somebody's going to remember. Text us. Something like that. Text us. Comment on Facebook. I guarantee it. That was, man. I should know that. Man, my memory's not as good as it used to be. But anyway, you know what I do remember? That is our studio sponsor, Bill Kramer GM and Kramer Marine and Outdoor, right there at the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd Street. Tons of new vehicles in stock. Trade value is still super high. They got express service.
Men's Warehouse.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I guarantee it.
Google, baby.
It's a powerful thing. I don't know what the kids did before. I don't know what the kids would do now if they didn't have that.
You don't remember?
Yeah, no, I do. We
had arguments for a long time, like sports arguments back in the day used to be so more authentic because it was like you
couldn't end the argument and you believed what you believed and you were going to die on that sword.
Now it's like, why are we even talking about this, bro? Here's the answer. Like, you can have your feelings all you want, but let's go with the facts. How about that?
Yep. No, absolutely. Facts are a wonderful thing. But yeah, no, there's a lot of stories passed down and information passed down in those generations that may or may not have been true, but because you heard it, it was true, and you died on that sword trying to figure it out. But yeah, Speaking of dying on that sword and getting your car fixed, that's Bill Kramer, GM Express Service Regulatory. It doesn't have to be a GM car. Just go there. They'll take great care of you. And, of course, they always make it easy. Fishing season for the fall is one of the best around, and you got to have a boat to get out there and do it. And Kramer Marine and Outdoor will get a boat for you to get out there on the water. And if your boat's currently not working, they'll come to you with their great mobile service to help get you back out on the water. They do sell new and used boats as well. They carry Seabourn, Spider, Sundance, and
Skeeter.
You can check out all of that new and used inventory at KramerMarineandOutdoor.com.
Expedia.
Thank you. That's right. Man, all the jingles that just bounce around in my head.
That's always been something that I want to do. I want to try to figure out a way to crack into making jingles for like businesses and whatnot.
Well, shoot, nowadays it's probably just AI jingles.
Yeah, those things suck though.
They do. All right, I've got a few different ones potentially here. I'll let you steer us here in the right direction.
That was my Hot Wheels cars.
Nice. Yeah, to add the sound effects.
Did you ever play Crash 'em, Smash 'em?
I did not.
So
I know what you're talking about, but yeah.
And then so we would take our whole, like we had this little like rolling suitcase type deal that you could put all the Hot Wheels in and everything.
Man.
And so we would do like whole tournaments of just like smashing the cars, you know, and then we also had this ramp at the church back in the day, so we'd line up like 8 or 10 Hot Wheels and like we'd be betting Hot Wheels against each other.
Good to see things that's where it all started in the church.
Yeah, there you go. And we would be we'd be racing those things down the little ramp. That was man, what a childhood.
This commercial is always depicted so much more than it felt like you could do when they had like the fire station.
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
They look like, and you get it and you're like, this was fun for 5 minutes. And
but making those tracks when you could like customize them and stuff and have the loop-de-loop. And then did you ever play the computer game, the Hot Wheels computer game? That game was fun because you could like control the car, so when it's in the air, you know, you're like doing flips and whatnot. It's kind of like the back in the day GTA. Yeah.
Kids
without any like violence or
anything. And prostitution, all those things. Yeah. Hey, kids nowadays, they don't know how good they've got it. It's all right there for them. All right, couple topics I'll let you dive into. We'll find one from Odd News. I've got several. I've got meet the college baseball recruit who stormed the field at Vanderbilt, Oregon, and Tennessee. And then I've got the 2024-25 NCAA men's basketball first team all-name team.
All right. All-name team.
All-name team.
Make sure that we get to that one.
Yes. Yes.
What's our third option?
Just anything from the UPI Odd News website.
All righty then. Alex, I would say let's go with the 3-field stormer college baseball recruit.
I'm glad you chose that one because that was actually the one I was going to go with first. Pretty cool story for this young man. But again, if there's a Guinness Book of World Records entry for the most consecutive field stormings in a college football season, we have our winner. Meet Gary Morse, class of 2026 college baseball recruit who took official visits on 3 state weekends. To Vanderbilt for the Alabama game, to Oregon for the Ohio State game, and Tennessee for the Alabama game. Okay, now I know why Alabama lost both of the games, because this kid's clearly a jinx for Alabama.
Stay away from the Tide, kid.
The 3 monumental wins for the home team, 3 field stormings for the 17-year-old Morse, who sprinted towards the party each time while his father, Alan, watched from the stands. I won't lie to you, said Morse, one of the top right-handed pitchers in the 2020 class. I am living my best life. Morse, a 6'8" native of Bellflower, California, narrowed a long list of suitors down to 6 schools and mapped out a schedule for official visits this fall. Starting with Texas A&M on September 21st, he was in attendance for the Aggies game against Bowling Green, but left early with A&M ahead by 2 scores in the 4th quarter. 2 weeks later, he traveled to Nashville, Tennessee, where he figured Vanderbilt didn't have much of a chance against number 1 Alabama and suspected he might not stay for the entire game. But at halftime, the Commodores had the lead. The 3rd quarter ends, they're still winning, Morse said, and then 2 minutes hit, and they're still up. The clock ticked down. Morse and his baseball buddies made their way from the student section to Vanderbilt's pitching lab, located under the stands and on the same level as the football field. They wanted to be among the first to storm the field, and Morse whipped out his cell phone to take a video of the scene while he sprinted towards midfield. At one point, he came across a Vanderbilt helmet and raised it in the air with the crowd. I'd say I loved it all of the field storms, Morse said. They're all super cool experiences, but I'm going to say the Vanderbilt one was the best just because of how that usually never happens, and it being the first one. The first of its kind of the best one. The next week, Morse and his dad were in Eugene, Oregon for one of the biggest games on the college football calendar, a top 5 showdown between Ohio State and Oregon. Morse heard the Oregon students talking about their plans to rush the field if the Ducks won, so when the game ended, he was there again, living it up for the second consecutive week while his dad looked on. All these crowds, these kids are just super involved in what's going on in their college, Morse said. I really think it's cool to just see all these kids come together, and they're all having a good time, and I just think it's super cool. After the Oregon visit, Morse and his father talked about how rare it was that they were able to attend 2 of the most notable games of the 2024 season. He knew he'd enjoy talking with the baseball coaching staffs and taking advantage of all the great food on the official visits. But what were the odds he'd have 2 field stormings in 2 weeks as a baseball recruit? And then Tennessee, Alabama happened. The trifecta complete. I was like, Dad, 3 weekends in a row storming the field? Not only does that have to be a record in a row, but just for a recruit in general, that has to be a record to storm the field 3 times, Morse said. And then even more, even more we were thinking, hold on, has anyone stormed the field 3 times in their lifetime? Maybe a couple of super fans who have attended a bunch of games over the years, but even then you'd have to be lucky to storm a field 3 times. I'm batting 1,000. There's videos on theathletic.com of all his videos of storming the fields. He does have 2 official visits left to LSU and Texas. He's not, or Texas.
No.
Yeah.
What is that LSU visit? Do we know?
He's not expecting to have another field storm, but the Tigers and the Longhorns will have a high bar to clear nonetheless. As for his plans, he's in no hurry to make a decision, but would like to issue a commitment before his season starts in the spring. Then again, I don't know, Morse said, laughing. If I keep storming the field, I might just have to become a professional official visitor.
There you go.
I mean, when I saw this story, I was like, what are the odds are, as a baseball recruit too, but yeah. I mean, we'll have to keep track of who he ends up going with when it comes to his decision. But obviously the Vandy, Alabama is probably the most unlikely one to happen, but unbelievable to go from Vandy to Eugene and then back to Knoxville.
When his dad was helping him put together that list of how he was going to be doing his visits, that pretty impressive stuff right there. That is 3 times in a lifetime would be insane. 3 times in a week, or three times in consecutive weeks is
unreal.
Yeah,
and because you're typically a student of the university that has this major upset at home when you storm the field. So for him to be there with the students,
where's he from?
He's from California.
Of course he is. Of course he
Bellflower, California. 6'8" pitcher, right?
He's 6'8", so he stood out.
Oh yeah. Hopefully he was wearing the correct gear and all that. But yeah, what a thing, and especially the Vanderbilt one. They tore down. I wonder if he walked down Broad Street with everybody and helped get it into the river.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, that was a unique field. I mean, probably the most unique field storming that I can remember in a long time. That's for sure.
I want to be at a road game where my team gets beat and then they storm the field and I just storm the field too, and I'm just like, get off the field, get off the field. They start trying to take the goalpost out and I'm like tackling people underneath. I'm like, you will not throw these in the Tennessee River.
I would imagine you'd get swallowed up pretty quickly.
Pretty quickly, yes sir.
Hey, but the effort would be there nonetheless. All right, let's dive into this is the 2024-25 NCAA Division I men's basketball first team all-name team.
How many players are on this?
6, 12, and there's honorable mention. It kind of
12 makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, let's get it.
All right. These are Jay would like these. Always Right.
That's his name.
Always right. Yep. Always is spelled like always, but Right is Wright.
Oh,
He's
okay.
a guard for Rhode Island, and then it looks like Po' Boy King.
Po' Boy King. He's the Po' Boy King.
He's a guard for NC Central. And then Gob, G-O-B. He's a guard for Kansas City. And then Supreme Cook. He's a forward for Oregon. He probably likes to cook ducks. And then Caillou. He's a center for Liberty.
Caillou.
Caillou.
Do. It's Caillou.
Glad you knew that.
That's a little kid show back in the day.
Yep. And then
Old Baldy.
Tennessee Rainwater. He's a guard forward for Utah Tech.
That's that old moonshine, baby. That Tennessee Rainwater, I do tell you what.
All right, a guard for Cincinnati, Jizzle James.
Oh, Jizzle James. Oh, look at the net jizzle after that sizzling shot.
Hey, you can use a lot of, the announcers will have a field day with these. And then a guard for Michigan, Fat Brooks.
Hey, Fat.
P-H-A-T.
Oh, no.
P-H-A-T, Brooks.
From the farm, it's Fat.
Yeah. Fat for 3. Knocks it down.
I can't imagine a guy with the name Fat shooting threes, but that's the game that we play these days.
I mean, he's a guard.
He is a guard,
He's a
so
guard.
he will be shooting threes.
And you will see him on the TV because he does play for Michigan.
There you go.
And
Fat.
If I pronounce this one correctly, it says Cool Attack, or Cool Attack, I'm guessing, is probably, it's Kuolatak.
Yeah.
Cool Attack.
Cool Attack.
He's a forward for Oklahoma.
There you go.
Playing in the SEC. And then I can't zoom in. Look at that.
You got a touchscreen?
I do.
Nice.
Liam found that out last night, too. He's like, what?
How long have you known it's a touchscreen?
Since I bought it. Which is fair. And then it looks like CLI''Ron Hornbeak. Clyron Hornbeak. He's a forward center for Kent State.
You say Clyron?
Clyron.
It's probably Claron.
Claron. I like Clyron Bird.
Klingon.
Clyron or Claron Hornbeak. And then you got Snooky Wigington.
Snooky Wigington, huh?
Yeah, he's a guard for Ryder. It's in Dirty Jers.
How perfect is that, though, right? Because Snooky, Jersey Shore, all that good stuff.
Yeah,
so
Snooky. Churchill Bounds.
Oh, no. Churchill Bounds?
Yep.
That's so awesome. Where's he playing at?
Forward for...
Please say Kentucky.
Wagner. Yeah. Oh. Missed an opportunity there. That's for sure.
Transfer portal next year.
Yeah,
though.
There you go. George Washington, these are the honorable mentions. George Washington III, he's a guard for Richmond. Sir Mohammed, a guard for Notre Dame.
If your last name was Washington, which I guess because it runs in the family, George Washington.
He's the third, yeah. So,
I think I'm staying away from George.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Don't want to give you presidential names.
He should play at George Washington University. Yeah. That would make perfect sense. Sir Mohammed is a guard for Notre Dame. Tony is a guard for UAB, Tonytoney.
Ooh,
it's like
they're great.
One of my friends down the street, his dad's name was Carl, Carl.
Did your parents love you?
I don't know. It gives you an uphill battle through elementary school. There's no doubt kids can be cruel. Puff Johnson, that's a good one.
I like that.
Guard for Penn State. Let's see. Townsend Triple, a forward for BYU.
How do you get the last name Triple?
I don't know. You had a single and a double.
There you go.
That's terrible. Solo ball, not to be confused with LaMelo or Lonzo.
There you go.
He's a guard for UConn, so you'll be hearing that name probably a good bit. Oakland Fort, a guard.
Double ball, that would have been funny. Yeah. Like, what if they had 4 kids and it's like Solo Dolo?
Yeah, Solo Dolo. Oh, goodness.
Double ball.
Yep. Oakland Fort, guard for Northern Arizona. BIR. Burger Irving, who's a forward.
Probably Briger?
Or BIR.
BIR. Oh, so it is Burger.
Burger Irving is a forward for High Point University.
All right.
I toured High Point University when I was
They give you a gun when you get there?
No, I don't think so. You're just trying to catch footballs at the highest point you possibly can.
Gotcha.
Legend Geeter. He's a forward for Detroit Mercy. Same school, Peter, it's Fuchs. Peter, you know what, Junior, I'm not going to say.
Yeah.
Guard for Detroit Mercy as well.
That's going to be so tough, bro.
Fuchs.
Yeah.
That's probably not how it's pronounced.
Yeah, because, CH usually makes that k sound.
Yep, absolutely. Chocolate. Matt McCool. He's a forward from Marist University. Mose Downing Rivers. Oh, that's a good one. All right, then we got Luth M. Coulibaly. Lutham Coulibaly, he's a forward for Valparaiso. Moses Hips, a guard for Boise State. Great Osabor as a forward for Washington. Cameron McNamee, I think we've heard that one before. I don't know. He's a guard for Dartmouth.
I know, we were talking about the McCamey man.
Oh, that's why. That's recent. And then you've got Stoney Hadnot.
Stoney had not smoked today.
Yeah, Stoney had not hit a 3 in a long time. He's a South Dakota State, so he's a jackrabbit. And then from Texas Southern, rounding out the honorable mentions, is Zyterius Mortal. He's a guard forward for Texas Southern University.
He is not like you. He is not mortal.
He is Zyterius, not mortal. Yeah. So there you go. That's the NCAA Division I men's basketball first team all-name team. Some good ones in there. Hey, when you have a kid, you have an opportunity, depending on what your last name is, to make a splash or ruin your kid's life. One or the other. But hey, these kids all persevered, became Division I athletes.
If my first kid's a boy, though, it's 3D. David Hayes Jr. III.
Nice. I like that. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right.
David Hayes Jr. III. All right.
Yeah, I didn't quite get it.
No junior.
No junior. Just the third. Yeah, because that comes after junior.
Yep.
Everybody always asks me, is she a junior? I was like, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
I said, she's a girl.
But if you did name her, like if her middle name was Patrick.
Yeah. But does it count if it's a different, because
it's 2024?
I guess. Well, that was 2012.
Well, 12 years ago.
Yeah, but anyway, I was going to save that one for Jay, but I was really anxious to get that one out there. So we'll go ahead and take a quick break. When we get back, it's time to be joined by Brad Law. He's the Director of Broadcast Operations for the Auburn Sports Radio Network, and we get to talk about an Auburn SEC victory. You're listening to Inside Drive. We'll be right back.
This just in. Get the latest sports news, scores, and updates from 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Follow us on Facebook for exclusive content, behind-the-scenes action, live streams, and the chance to interact with your favorite hosts.
Stay connected. Stay connected. Stay connected.
Join the conversation on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Search for ESPN Northwest Florida and crush the follow button.
I follow you on social media.
We're always here to keep you in the game.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Tuesday. Sunshine the rest of the day with a gentle breeze out of the east at 10 miles per hour and look for it to be 82. Tonight there will be clear skies with the temperature reaching 70. Mostly sunny tomorrow with a wind around 10 miles per hour and the high of 82. Thursday we'll have a high of 81 and mostly sunshine. This weather is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Tired of flipping through channels and finding nothing good? Introducing Lucid Stream TV. Get over 2,000 live streaming channels. Catch every game of the season with over 100 sports networks, including ESPN, ESPN Plus, the NFL Network, and Red Zone. Even pay-per-view events. Watch local network channels from most major markets throughout the country. Fox, ABC, CBS, and NBC. It's more than sports. Lucid Stream TV offers premium movie channels like HBO, Cinemax, Stars, 200-plus entertainment and news networks, or watch 10,000 movies on demand, including recent theater releases. Just $41.99 a month when you use the ESPN-NW promo code at checkout. Watch on up to 5 devices at the same time. Perfect for sharing with family and friends. Lucid Stream TV gives you everything you want for less. Cut the cord, not the fun. To score Lucid Stream TV, go to ESPNPC.com and click on the Lucid Stream TV logo.
Auburn basketball returns November 6th.
Hardwell to the basket with authority. Unbelievable.
Bruce Pearl and the reigning SEC tournament champions are ready to take on the most challenging schedule in school history.
Right wing three, Denver. Yes! Big three tonight. Turn, shoot, good.
Catch all the action on your home for Auburn basketball.
ESPN Northwest Florida. War Eagle.
Pound the like and crush the subscribe. Follow us on social media for the latest sports news, scores, and updates.
And I never get off Instagram or Facebook and think, wow, good for everyone.
keeping you in the game. It's the Inside Drive with Ryan and Jay, live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios at ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida, your home for the Auburn Tigers. And we've got the man from the Auburn Tigers Sports Radio Network. That is the Director of Broadcast Operations, Brad Law. Brad, we finally got a win in the SEC win column. Must feel good up there in the Plains this week.
It does, yeah. It feels very good. As a matter of fact, as you might imagine, it's really great anytime a formula that is supposed to work works. I mean, I think about it like if you got a recipe and you've never made the recipe before, and you do all the work and you mix the ingredients just right and you set the oven to the temperature you're supposed to set it, and at the end you actually get what you're supposed to get, that's a really satisfying feeling. It doesn't always work out that way. It hasn't with this team. They've put in the work, and they just haven't been able to come up with the right product. And they did in a pretty emphatic way, I thought, Saturday night at Kentucky.
Yeah, absolutely. Got the lead and held on to it, and they did what a lot of fans, a lot of people have been calling for, and that's just run the football. And Jarquez Hunter, obviously a monster game, SEC Offensive Player of the Week with 278 yards on the ground. That is a record for this year, most rushing yards by a running back. What was kind of the topic of conversation on the show yesterday with Coach Freeze? Coming off that win and obviously welcoming the Commodores to the Plains this weekend, a good Vanderbilt Commodores team.
Yeah, it's twofold. After a loss, you talk about how you learn from it and you move on, but you can't let it affect you the next week. And a win is the same way. You can talk about it, you can enjoy it. A lot of players I thought were really focused. They imposed their will on Kentucky, especially in the second half. And then it was over, and they were on to Vanderbilt and getting ready for a team in Vanderbilt that is night and day different from the team that Auburn beat up last year in Nashville. They have Jerry Kill working to help their offense. They have Diego Pavia, who beat Auburn at Jordan-Hare, and who's already beaten Alabama this year. They brought in the tight end from New Mexico State as well. 3 offensive influences that have made a huge difference on that Vanderbilt team. They're not going to blow you away with talent. They're not going to blow you away with scheme. But they've got some guys with some experience and some grit, some confidence, and a little moxie, and it's gone well. It's gone as well for Vanderbilt as it has any season in a very long time. So it's a formidable challenge.
Yeah, no doubt. Me and David kind of been talking, and David's been the one that's been saying it. They had a 3-point loss to Texas this past weekend. Really, if any team should have moved up in the polls with a loss, it might have been Vanderbilt, but they did, in fact, drop out of the AP Top 25. But strong team is having a heck of a season, like you just said. What's Auburn got to do to keep this, momentum? Obviously, they played very well on both sides of the ball in that game against Kentucky on the road. What do they got to do at home in front of a big crowd up there at Jordan-Hare? Obviously, a 3-game homestand coming up. I know they got a bye week next weekend, but 3 home games coming up and 2 huge games at the end of the season.
I think particularly against Vanderbilt, the winner of this game is going to be the game that holds the ball longest. I think that's a huge part for both of these teams. When Vanderbilt beat Alabama earlier this year, they allowed Alabama, between 40 and 50 offensive plays. Auburn held the ball against Kentucky for almost 37 minutes. I think it was over 36 minutes in the game. And the winner of this game Saturday, I think, could be the team that holds the ball 34, 35 minutes and only allows the other team on the field for about 25, 26, 27 minutes. Third down conversions, which mean winning first down. And I thought that Auburn's game plan against Kentucky, especially in the second half, was excellent. Kentucky ran a 5-man box, and they kept throwing the light box out at them. They didn't really add a lot of guys for the majority of that game. And so Auburn ran effectively, and they took little 5-yard passes and then let the receivers do with it what they could. And I think that's got to be the game plan again against Vanderbilt. And if they creep up and load the box, or if they start playing press man, then you like your receivers one-on-one. Yeah. Vanderbilt's not been as good away from home as they have been at home. And It's all about the chess match, punch, counter punch. And if they start playing a little too tight, that's when you take your shots over the top. No. But you got to stay on the field.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's kind of been when Auburn's been down in previous games in the season. They just, a lot of 3-and-outs, a lot of quick drives, no sustainability, and their defense was just on the field so much. One of the better defenses in the country statistically, but just, you get tired. It doesn't matter how much you train. I mean, you're on the field constantly. It's an uphill battle, to say the least. I don't know the exact stat, but I don't have it in front of me. But I know at one point Auburn was top 5 in both offensive yards per play and defensive yards per play. And there was 4 other teams in the country that had that same statistic. But those 4 other teams were 32-4, and at the time Auburn was 2-5. And the big difference between those teams and Auburn was turnovers. Now, obviously, the turnovers were limited against Kentucky, and I think Auburn taking care of the football they're a good football team. They just haven't performed to their ability yet. And Kentucky, we saw a little bit of that, and then hopefully on these last 4 games of the season, we can continue to see Auburn moving in the right direction with a chance to get a bowl game. But it's going to be tough because they've got Vandy, then they've got the bye week, we got UL Monroe, and then the last 2 games of the season, 2 of the bigger juggernauts in the SEC. Now, big home game welcoming Texas A&M with a chance to spoil their season. Texas A&M has Texas the last game of the season, potentially for an SEC championship berth, and then of course their final game of the season on the road after Thanksgiving in Tuscaloosa for the Iron Bowl. So Auburn, I know, trying to continue to play the same game they played last week, kind of get some momentum throughout the rest of the season, maybe get to those 6 wins and get a bowl berth, and hopefully take a season that didn't start out so great and salvage a little bit towards the end.
Yeah, make lemons and make something resembling lemonade anyway. And I do think, again, in this age of playoff or bust, I've said before on this show that I wholeheartedly, fiercely, passionately reject that narrative. If Auburn could finish this year 7-5, at the beginning of the year, there's no way you think you would take 7-5. But 7-5 this year would be ending the year on a tremendous winning streak, wins over A&M and Alabama. All these games are winnable down the stretch, even as formidable as Texas A&M is. They're all winnable. Yeah. And if Auburn were to take a 3-game winning streak into that game against A&M, night game potentially at Jordan-Hare, hey, all bets are off. And then you can be looking at some real momentum going into Tuscaloosa. So, I mean, there's absolutely still time with a whole month of the season to go to have a really memorable year for Auburn football, and we could look back and see that it started in Lexington with that effort.
Yeah, no doubt. And you mentioned something there. All games are winnable. Would you say the parity in college football in this year is more than it's been maybe ever, with any given team really can, to a certain degree, of course, beat another team out there on the gridiron?
I think we're closer to it. I think you're getting closer to the parity that you find in the NFL, in that you can't. This year Oregon and Ohio State probably paid the most for their rosters. Yeah. Through NIL, and they look like the 2 most talented teams, but there are a lot of other teams behind them that are going to be. This first 12-team playoff is going to be incredibly compelling down the stretch. Who gets left out? You could make a case that the 13th team could beat the 3rd or 4th team in the country, and I don't know that you could say that at the very top most years, but I certainly think you could say that this year. You can make a case for 16 teams to be in the playoff this year in all likelihood, and 16 would have as good a chance to beat 3 or 4 as 10 or 11 would.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's, a lot of people have been hesitant with the changes because nobody likes change, but we may be in store for some pretty exciting games come the college football playoff. And what's wild is we're only a week away for the first college football rankings, so we'll kind of know how it's all going to start shaping out here as we approach the back end of the season. If you can answer this, great. If not, I had a question from a listener, somebody reaching out to me this morning. If you had a vote for the Heisman winner, who would you cast your vote for right now? And if you don't want to answer it, that's fine too.
Travis Hunter at Colorado. I don't know if he's going to make it to the end of the year. Playing both ways takes a toll on the body, but he's been the best player in college football so far because he's played both ways, and he's played significantly both ways.
Yeah, made an impact, no doubt.
Yeah, it reminds you of Charles Woodson, I guess, was the last guy to do that, and he won the Heisman. So I think Travis Hunter would be the guy, and I don't hesitate really a lot. The Genty kid from Boise State is a heck of a running back. He's a wonderful running back. But I don't think he's played the schedule that spotlights him enough or gives him enough of a consistent challenge to take home the prize of best player in college football. And I don't buy into that the Heisman needs to go to, it's become the best player on the best team.
Yeah.
Or the quarterback on the best team. And I don't necessarily think the quarterback is always the best player on the team. And I don't think the Heisman necessarily should go to a player on the best team. Colorado's 6-1, and he's played significantly both offensively and defensively. So he's my far and away leader at this point.
He's definitely doing what no other college football player is doing in the league right now. But like in Colorado, hey, like you said, 6-1. They just cracked the top 25. Yeah. They've got a schedule that they could win these last 4 games and really maybe make a run at the Big 12 championship and get themselves an automatic bid into the college football playoffs. So that's kind of another thing, and it's what the NFL MVP is turned into too, is the best quarterback. Yeah. And you like to see some of these kids that are just truly the best player, but the team has to be good. They have to be relevant in the situation, I think. But I like that. Travis Hunter, I believe he's 3rd in the Vegas odds right now for the Heisman Trophy. But an interesting story nonetheless, and we'll see where he ends up. We'll see what side of the ball he ends up playing in the NFL. I'm going to guess he plays on the defensive side of the ball just because that's just a lot harder side of the ball, on my opinion, to play.
And I know you're not saying this, but just to kind of piggyback off that point, the Heisman also doesn't need to go to the guy who's going to be the best pro.
Yeah.
It's the best college football player. And I said 6-1. They're actually 6-2. I forgot they lost by 3 to Kansas State.
Yep.
They have Texas Tech. They're off this week. Then they are at Texas Tech. They are at Utah. They are at Kansas. And they're at home against Utah. So they're at Texas Tech, home for Utah, at Kansas, home for Oklahoma State. They absolutely could finish 9-3 or better